Over the past few years, my family and I have circumnavigated the Mediterranean, crossed the Atlantic Ocean, sailed up the Caribbean island chain, and the southeast coast of America. This season, we've sailed down the Caribbean island chain. All in all, we've racked up almost 30,000 nautical miles. In this episode, we'll cover our passage plan and voyage from the British Virgin Islands to Saba via the Anegada passage. We'll give you a big tip about the first thing to do when water's unexpectedly entering your bilge. We'll share our difficulties with grabbing a mooring ball in the pitch black, show you our first look at the amazing island of Saba, and then take you to the highest point in the Netherlands. We climb Mount Scenery, Saba's volcano. After that, we'll take you to the world's smallest commercial airport, and we'll end with our departure to St. Kitts.
Florida, we're down here in the Virgin Islands. We were actually in Gorda Sound. Beautiful anchorage here. Our plan was to sail from there all the way down to St. Kitts. Kim wanted to stop off at Saba, but it's such a difficult place to get into as it's a volcanic island and there is no anchorages. Absolutely no anchorages at all. Even though it says anchorages here, you can't really anchor in there. There is mooring balls, and they are in about 70 feet or about 23 meters of water. Our plan was to go to St. Kitts. There was about 4 boats going. We were the last boat to leave. What happened was we come out through the channel above Necker Island, which is owned by Richard Branson, Virgin guy. We were going to go out and then catch the wind down, but we just got beat up on the way down there. It was a lot rougher than we were expecting. It was a lot of short chop. So by about 9 o'clock we decided that everyone was going to try and get into Saba, and Rondo was in before us. They got in there first. They picked up a mooring ball here, and then Pure Vida picked up a mooring ball, and then we came in, and it was great because each one helped each other, because Rondo got in as night was falling, then Pure Vida got in and they guided us in, so then we guided the next boat that was coming in, and that came in about 3 hours after us, and we got there at midnight.
Thank you, BVI, for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we made some magical moments here. We had absolutely blast with all our other cruising friends. Hopefully we're gonna meet up with them in the future islands, because everybody's left the BVI today, and it's been a great time. Yeah, there's been a lot of destruction with the hurricanes, but still, it's a great place. There were lots of boats around, but not as many as before, so it's even quieter than it was before, which makes it even a little bit better, I think. 2 thumbs up for the BVI. And we highly suggest everybody that's interested in sailing to definitely go to the BVI.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
One of the best places in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Thank you, BVI, for having us.
So there's been 6 boats that we've just left this island here. The other boats all left a lot earlier than us. We're trying to aim it so that we get in during the light. Conditions aren't that great. We've been talking to our friends, and swell is pretty high, but it's the best time that we've had to go for 2 weeks, so we're gonna make a go for it. Lots of boats heading out that way, but we've just received a call from Temerity, our friends, and they have a high water alarm, so they're taking on water right now. We're in constant communication with them. We are going to get their coordinates, and we're going to head towards them right now. Hopefully they can find the source of the water and put a stop to it. If not, we're right behind them, and we're gonna go see what we can do to help. Told them to check the water and taste it, because we have previous experience with internal things breaking, like the water tank or just a pipe going that's got fresh water in it, and so we asked them to go taste the water, and they came back saying it's fresh. Once you find out that there's water coming into your boat, you should always taste it, because if it's fresh water you can relax a bit. There's only so much fresh water you have on board, and generally you just have to turn off the pump or find out where it's leaking from and try and stop the leak. But like I said, there's only so much fresh water, and the bilge will pump it out. Temerity just called us back. It was fresh water. They think they know where it's coming from. The turning off the pump stopped the flow, so now they're back on course, and everybody feels a lot better, that's for sure. The total journey time to Saba was 14 hours, the longest sail we had for quite some time. So we spent most of our time reading, playing on the iPad, and even sleeping.
BVIs are over there. Sin is asleep down here. Kim's asleep over there.
Sienna's pulling chin hairs out.
Bet that doesn't go on the video. Okay, so that's Temerity, the one who had the high water alarm today. So we've just overtaken them. It's a bit bouncy, as you can tell.
The northernmost islands of the Leeward Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, and Saba, lie around 80 to 90 miles east of the Virgin Islands, and getting there entails crossing the Anegada Passage. A current from a half a knot to a knot and a half usually flows in a westerly to northwesterly direction. The trade winds blow from the easterly quadrant. All of this makes it really easy to sail from the Leeward Islands to the Virgin Islands. It's downwind and down current. However, going from the BVI to the Leewards, like we're doing right now, it's not so easy. We have both the wind and the current on our nose. And we waited for weeks to get this weather window to go. And look at how crazy the state of the water is. Sienna's actually sleeping through it, so it can't be that bad. So I just got served lunch. We've got tuna and some pita pockets. That looks really good.
We're going good. We're motor sailing. We try to go east to be able to sail the whole way, but we were just bashing about, so we decided we're motor sailing, and we're making really good progress actually, so I'm happy. We're doing 6.5 in quite rough seas.
When do we expect to get there?
Midnight tonight in Saba.
Yeah, and we just heard that Rondo is heading there. Sailboat Rondo and sailboat Pura Rondo's gonna be getting into Saba around 9 or 10 o'clock, which is kind of cool because we can radio them, or they'll call us and call everybody around and say how good or bad it is. We know they've got mooring balls there, but we've heard that it's very rocky, rolly, and our only worry is if it's too swelly, we can't get our dinghies down. So if we can't get our dinghies down, then it's almost not worth going. We might just take the mooring ball and sleep and then get up in the morning and see if it changes. But I think the plan is, hopefully if it's good enough in Saba, sleep there, go tour the island as much as we can. So Eustatia's 3 hours away, and then we'll try and go to Eustatia. And then after that, St. Kitts?
St. Kitts, yeah.
We might bypass everything and just go to St. Kitts. It's definitely not getting any calmer. Some of these waves that we're going over are just incredible. It feels like you're just running down like a hill or falling off a cliff. We always do our best to travel when the wind and sea state are best for our boat and its passengers. I have to say, however, that more often than not, the conditions are stronger than what's forecasted. Sometimes way stronger. Knowing that the weather or sea conditions can often be uncomfortable, we usually have a variety of options available to us. At this particular moment in our journey, we're headed for Saba, but mentally preparing to perhaps sail all the way to St. Kitts. With the sea state so turbulent, I do, however, have my fingers crossed that we can get into Saba and get some relief. So, oh jeez, coming from St. Martin, you can see like a plume of smoke. So it's either coming from Anguilla or St. Martin, but something over there is burning and it stinks. Here we are in the middle of like open sea. You can't see anything for 365 degrees, but I can smell something not so good on fire. Yuck. In the BVI, we witnessed many fires burning all over the island, often with green or blue smoke. The hurricanes left an insurmountable amount of trash. I fear that the islands can't get rid of it, so they're burning stuff that shouldn't be burnt. Bit lumpy, son.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. It's alright then.
I'm excited for dinner. Tonight's dinner is a simple pasta bake. I cooked some Italian sausage and pasta earlier and added in some chunks of mozzarella cheese.
All Simon had to do was stir in some sauce and put it in the oven.
Making a pretty good time?
Yeah, BMG's not too bad. What are you eating, Kim?
This delicious pasta bake is excellent.
In the dark.
Yeah.
Just heard from Rondo that have talked to Pura Vida, because Rondo is about 25 miles ahead of us, and they're now on a mooring bowl and getting their head down, which is nice for them. I haven't heard how it is in the mooring field, but they said it's okay. There's a couple more mooring balls in front of them, so Pura Vida's going for that one and us. And we've got another boat following, which is about 5 miles behind us. We've got about 3 hours to go. It's nearly 9:30. It's very dark, no moon, but the stars are beautiful, but it's still a bit bouncy. It's 10:30. We've got 12 miles to go, just about 2 hours. We just heard that there's another boat from somewhere taking another mooring buoy. So it looks like there was 2 mooring buoys left. One's already been taken. Pure Vida's ahead of us, they'll probably take that. So we're going to have to go searching. Wish us luck. Okay, so where's this mooring ball? Is it? So are you, as we come to you, are you on the left, over?
Yeah, as you come towards Rondo, they're going to be the real close to that mooring ball that you'll go is right in front of us.
Okay, great. How far away from you, over?
I think they have about 1,000-foot spacing.
Have you seen it physically, over?
Yeah, I can shine my light on to see it.
Okay, great. So when we're going to come in, we're going to be dropping our sail in about 10 minutes. Does it get a lot calmer when you get closer in, over?
We kept waiting for it to get calm so we could drop our sail. We got less than a mile and it was still blowing and it was sunny up to the beach, so we just had to drop it when it was windy. A mile and a half a mile and it'll get better.
Alright, thanks for the information. We will see you very shortly, over.
Okay, sounds great. Looking out for you.
Still there?
Still here.
Hey, we were reading they want shade protection on your line here.
Why is that, over?
Over the VHF, Ansley from Pura Vida was telling us where to find a mooring ball, and then Mike from Rondo called out to tell us to put some chafe protection on our mooring lines. It's great how everyone helps each other out.
Simon and I just wanted to talk about coming into Saba because we came in, there was no moon, it was pitch black. It was blowing 30 knots. The seas were really rough, and Saba's not at all protected. It's a round coastline. Yeah. So when
with cliffs.
Yeah, and we absolutely had no idea what it even looked like because we'd never been there before, and we didn't really, look at pictures before we went. As we were coming in, we got information from the other boaters, and they explained to us, they were waiting up and they'd shine a light towards the mooring balls. But it's still really scary. It was bouncy.
Oh yeah, very windy.
Pitch black. And then as you were coming in, you could hear that there was land nearby, and you could see it on the plotter, but you couldn't see it with your eyes. No. The first time we quickly spotted the mooring ball, didn't we?
Yeah, Ansley from Pura Vida had a powerful torch and she was shining on, and luckily there was a bit of a reflection on the mooring ball so we could see it, and we were coming in perfect. I thought, yeah, we're going to hit this first time. And as we got within like 6 feet of it, we just got hit with about 40 to 50 knots of quick gust of wind.
And it just pushed the whole bow.
Blew the whole bow away. We turned around and just came back in again, and I didn't quite get it right that time, so we didn't get anywhere near. I just said, no, we're going to come around again because I didn't like it. And we came round the third time lucky we hit it, and we got one. We
didn't hit it literally.
No, yeah, okay. It's an English term, sorry. Kim did brilliantly by picking up the ball with the hook, getting one line on, and once we got one line on, we just settled down, got Kim got the next line ready, told me that she was ready to go, and that's when I put the bow thruster on and the motor on to make it easier for her. And she did brilliantly and got it on.
Yeah.
And
I have to say though, it wasn't easy, and I felt it was quite scary. So it's not something I would recommend. If you're going to go to Saba, I would say go during the day.
yeah, try and get into the daytime. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was well worth stopping.
Oh,
So,
fantastic place.
Yeah, it was
absolutely
brilliant,
fantastic.
and we're so happy that we did stop.
But the great thing is that it's the camaraderie of boaters that Rondo got in the daytime, and they explained it into Pure Vida. Pure Vida then waited up for us, and then Kim went to bed, and I sort of dozed in the cockpit waiting for Temerity to come in.
Yeah.
And I helped guide them in, and as soon as they were in and on the wall, I went to sleep. It's all about helping each other, and that's what we do.
Yeah,
and that's great.
And I think it was cool because we were all supposed to go to St. Kitts, but we all diverted to Saba. So
yeah,
it was a good experience.
I just looked outside to see where we are. Did you look outside, Sienna? Wow. We got the mooring ball in the dark last night. This is so cool. Sometimes it's nice to anchor or get a mooring ball in the middle of the night because you wake up and you see this. It's incredible. To celebrate getting to Saba, we made pancakes.
It's not a bad view, is it?
No, and this is our view. Look at that. In an hour, we're going to get the dinghy down and head into town, yeah?
Yeah.
Coming to pick these guys up. Got Pura Vida in here. We're the king and Pura Vida back there. Let's pick up Rondo. Yay! Woo! Okay, we're transferring a couple people to Rondo's dinghy now. We're taking all the kids in our boat. We're the official kid dinghy for today. Okay, we're gonna go check on Temerity, see how they are. They arrived at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We are hiking up to the volcano. You can take a taxi.
Okay, so now we're off to booking at customs.
Simon has successfully anchored our dinghy hundreds of times, but on this particular occasion he messed up in every way possible. The line was tangled around the anchor in addition to not being fixed to the boat, so he had to go for a swim.
You okay, hon?
It took Simon a couple more attempts, but eventually the anchor dug in and Simon was able to pull the dinghy away from the wall to ensure it wouldn't bump or scrape on something that could puncture the boat. So let me formally welcome you to the island of Saba. Right in front of the dinghy dock is the Customs and Immigration Office. So the first thing we had to do was book into the country. As with every country we book into, we bring our boat papers, insurance documents, passports, and money. And then make our way down the road just a wee bit to pay for a mooring ball and get information about taking an island tour and possibly climbing to the top of the volcano. The booking in and mooring ball fees came in under $75 US. After paying all our fees and getting an outline of the rules and regulations around the mooring balls and the coastline, we looked at all the fun stuff in the shop and got the lowdown on what we could do and see while on the island of Saba.
Windward side is where the tourist attractions are, more of the trailheads and restaurants and whatnot start here. So this is where you may want to go. If you want to cheat to get to the summit, you can also have them drop you up the mountain road. Just tell the mountain road and then it saves you a little walking.
Yeah. Taxi driver Rodney here.
Housecape where you can see the rest of the island. Does it sound good? Sounds good to me. Awesome. It'll be $5 one way.
I'm getting everybody say hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hola.
Let me now give you a bit of information on Saba as we tour the island. Saba is a Caribbean island which is the smallest special municipality officially called a public body of the Netherlands. It consists largely of the dormant volcano Mount Scenery at 887 meters or 2,910 feet, and it's the highest point of the entire Netherlands. My question about volcanoes is always, when did it last erupt? You'll be happy to know that Mount Scenery has not erupted for about 5,000 years and shows no signs of doing so in the near future. Saba has a land area of 13 square kilometers, or 5 square miles, so it's quite a small place. As of January 2013, the population was around 2,000 inhabitants, but I think there are incentives for people from the Netherlands to move to the island, so perhaps the population is on the increase. Now, contrary to the look and feel of other Caribbean islands, Saba is very different. All the homes are white with a red roof, the streets are slick, smooth concrete, and the whole island looks like it's professionally manicured. I didn't see any pollution or graffiti. It almost seemed a bit unreal. Mount Scenery is Saba's dominant feature, so if you're going to visit the island, climbing the 2,910 feet is a must-do. As we take you with us, you'll notice dense vegetation with a variety of species covering the summit and upper slopes. The elfin forest, otherwise known as a cloud forest, dominates the upper 50 meters or 150 feet of the mountain. In this area, you'll see mountain mahogany covered with epiphytes, orchids, and a range of other unique and rare plants. The island's vegetation varies with distinctive zones, which are related to altitude and precipitation. The top of Mount Scenery is more often than not enshrouded by clouds, resulting in that cloud forest environment that I mentioned earlier.
So we're just getting above the clouds now. We're moving super fast.
I might need that whistle back.
Hayward's bringing up the back end. Keep going, girls. Let's see what's at the top. There might be a surprise.
At slightly lower elevations, rainforest vegetation is present. Humidity decreases as one descends and the vegetation reflects the drier climate. And it's interesting to discover that plants and trees found close to the shore have adapted to the salty environment. I'm sure this island is a key spot for plant and tree lovers. And Saba is also a must-see for bird watchers, as it's home to over 60 species of birds, many of which are seabirds. There are 2 lookout points on the top of Mount Scenery. One group headed back down while some of us went to check out the other lookout point. For fleeting moments, we'd get a break in the clouds and be able to see the coastline, but for the most part, we were surrounded in clouds. It was quite magical.
Oh, you let go of it.
I know, I had to get I can't.
After enjoying another viewing point, we headed back down the mountain. So how would I rate the difficulty of the hike? I'd have to say that it wasn't easy. There were very few plateaus. For the most part, you hike up, up, and up. Many of us took frequent breaks, and the kids did complain a bit. But was it worth it? Of course it was. We had great company, amazing views, and it was an excellent way to get our exercise. When we made it back to the village at the base of the hill, we took a tour around the streets. There was some stores, some restaurants, shopping center, a big beautiful cemetery that looked out towards the water, a church, some shops, and a place that we could get some food. We were all quite hungry by the time we made it back down. Our lovely taxi driver then took us to see the airport. It's actually the shortest commercial runway in the world. It's only 400 meters or 1,312 feet long, and it's flanked on one side by high hills with cliffs that drop into the sea at both ends. We headed back to the dinghy dock. Our aim was to get back to the boats before the sun set. I didn't want to have another nighttime mooring. Interestingly, Simon had yet another problem with the dinghy anchor. He somehow managed to get it caught on a sunken tire, and after several attempts at freeing it, he had to, once again, dive into the water, but this time it was to free the anchor.
Saba.
Thank you for having us. Oh, hold on, I'll get you Sienna. What are you saying?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we had a good time, didn't we?
If you'd like to see videos about sailing, destinations, how-tos, marina reviews, and more, please support our channel by purchasing one of our sailing guides. Join the thousands of people that have already purchased our guides to get information that will save you money, provide practical tips and tricks, in addition to helping you get out and enjoy boating. Or if you're not in the need for helpful how-to information and checklists, buy one of our high-quality nautical t-shirts, beach cover-ups, and other nautical gifts at our Etsy shop. We also have a lovely community of Patreon supporters too, if that's something you're interested in. Links to all of these resources can be found in the description below. These educational and hopefully entertaining videos are made possible by the profits made through our guides, t-shirt sales, and Patreon supporters. To keep them going for free, please support Sailing Britican today.